Hey everyone, this is GeoWill, Productions², and I'm here tonight to do our pre-walkthrough introductory video for our Skyrim walkthrough. And the reason that I'm doing an introductory walkthrough is because it's just a lot of stuff we have to go over before I even get into the game. As far as the mods and stuff go, because we need to kind of discuss what kind of mods I have and the settings I have and all that stuff. So, I'm going to go ahead and get the Thu'Mic running, Nexus Mod Manager, and also the Skyrim configurator going. That's all that's just part of what we need to do here. So Thu'Mic is a neat little program that allows you to actually control shouts with a microphone through the game. You say the dragon language and the shouts happen. You have 3 settings: off, which means shouts don't, the system doesn't do any shouts. Safe, you only can shout non-damaging shouts in areas where there's not a battle. So, for instance, you can only use shouts like, crap, what is it? The one for clear skies, or Wold-in-the-Kest, inside of cities and places where there are not, where you're not in combat, or where your shout would begin combat. On means that you can use any shout anytime you want, and you can seriously piss off the city guards doing that. Right now I'm just verifying my game cache, because the friggin' thing was doing some weird crap. Like, vertices were flying all over the place, so I'm trying to see if there's an invalid file somewhere, or if there's something else going on. I think it's just an invalid file somewhere, probably. Yeah, one file. Yeah, boom, right there. One file. One file causes a hell of a lot of problems. So to download that one file, apparently so. One file, one 752 byte file, caused all kinds of problems. Anyway, settings. You can set up various things. You can set up a push-to-talk, like I have here, and I'm actually going to use that because I'm going to be doing the let's type of commentary thing with it. Just because Skyrim is one of those games where I want to be able to do, be able to claim it, if you will, Skyrim. So, because I'm planning on doing a really high quality walkthrough, and so hoping to get some extra money generated through my YouTube account with my partner account to be able to get a second video card or something, to add back with the game, with the system, or buy more games to do recordings for and stuff like that. But you have delays down here, but that said, there is no, while you have this mod installed, there are no delays for shouting, so you can use as many shouts as you want in succession. The one thing I like about this mod in particular, if you choose to do so, is you can replace the English text for the shouts with the actual dragon script. So instead of saying unrelenting force, it actually says Fusrodan in the game menu. But just to show you how this works here, so blah 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 blah, whatever. It's on right now. So if I say something like Yoltor Shul, nothing happens. If I hit V, Yoltor Shul, actually it's Yoltor Shul. I said Shul or something like that. Of course there's E's, or Strunba. Strunba. There we go. I don't know what the third word for Stormcall is, but that's essentially how it works. Now if I just go, Fusroda, nothing happens. Fusroda. So that's pretty much how Thu'Mic works. We'll go over to this first. Well, no, we'll go over here first with the mods. I have a ton of mods installed. I'll just kind of quickly go over them. 3D NPC adds in several NPCs around the game world that have extensive menu options. So you get a more satisfying discussion with them. This equality world map combined with the high quality 3D map allow you to have a much more detailed world map to work with. Apocalypse spell package is a spell package. It also includes the Apocalypse spell that you see at the very beginning of the game. Better Embers is just a HD texture mod for embers inside of like fire pots and stuff like that. I have several different house mods, if you will, mods that add locations, like Castle Grey, Castle Strewn Ma. Cloaks of Skyrim adds cloak items. This just adds many more things that you can craft, as well as I think fixing a couple things. Crimson Tide, along with enhanced blood, creates essentially just this huge amount of blood, high quality, high resolution blood spatter when you kill things. The Daedric Shield fixes a mistake that Bethesda made in the HD Texture DLC pack, where they removed specularity from the Daedric shields. That fixes it and restores it to what it should be. Daemon Hunter armor is a custom armor for the CBBE or UNP body mods. I have the CBBE body mod installed also. Deuce Mons, I think, is another area addition. Dovahkired is an interesting mod in that it adds several, I think 13 very powerful dragons to the game. They're supposedly supposed to be Alduin's lieutenants. And Dovahkired actually stands for Dragon Hunter or Dragon Killer, one of those two. But they give the dragons drop custom, or not custom, but special items that allow you to craft custom dragon bone gear, like colored armors and stuff like that. And some of them drop special items as well. Then you have the Dragon Falls Manor, another location. Dragon Bone Weapons is a really super high quality weapon mod. The weapon models are on Bethesda level kind of modeling, so it's a really high quality mod. Let's see, DSP, that is for transferring Dragon Souls into being able to use Dragon Souls if you have all the words, or if you just don't want to spend it on words, or if you have a lot of souls that you want to use. You can use it to unlock perks or add to your stats, your stamina, magicka, or health. Dynavision adds dynamic depth of field to the game, and you can edit it from you can modify the settings from inside the game. Enhanced distance terrain just kind of roughs up the terrain at a long distance, so it doesn't look so flat and boring and disgusting. Finer Dust adds a high resolution kind of dust particle thing to the game. Forsaken is actually part of the 20 Moon pack. And what you do is you extract the moon you want, and then you put it into a zip file, and you create a mod from that zip file. So I'm using the Forsaken Moon from that. The HD Texture fixes some things that Bethesda screwed up with their HD Texture DLC. Such as logs on fires that are not just glowing because they're on fire, but they're actually glowing red. They have like I don't know, a lighting issue with them or something. Heavy armor adds a heavy armor variant of the Dawnguard armor that you get. Of course, obviously you have to have Dawnguard installed. The This adds the high-res Milky Way, adds a Milky Way-like galaxy to the sky during the night, and it really helps liven up the sky a lot. And it's also not dynamic but animated, so the light, stars will actually be twinkling. This just increases the quality of the spiderwebs inside of dungeons and other places. Jace's swords adds a ton of sword weapons to the game. Then you have this. This is a high-res texture mod for jewelry. This adds skimpy CBB armor to the game. It modifies a lot of stuff to be a little more skimpy for the CBB body mods. These two take the lanterns that you find throughout the game and actually make them functional. They when you have these installed with a ENB that creates realistic darkness, these can really help light up areas because they will cast realistic light. This is a alternative patch to fix the green underwater errors from water. I used this blur patch because it also fixes the issue with underwater being blurred out. That's in vanilla without any mods installed. Bethesda decided to make underwater blurry for some reason, and that will fix that as well. Leveler's Tower is something you have to have. If you're going to play Skyrim with mods, you have to have this installed because this place is crazy. You'll get to see it later on in the game, and I won't go over it too much because there's too much to talk about with that thing. Light Up the Night, people have torches again, good for ENB mods. These two mods here are very important for how you're going to set up your settings if you have them installed, because they will cause some hits to performances if you don't take necessary precautions. This is another spell mod, adds a lot more mods to the game. This mod by itself doesn't really do much. It's supposed to take away the blocky shadowing off of the bodies and faces. It doesn't really help that much unless used in conjunction with setting over in the lighting tab here. Then adds spears to the game, another magic mod, adds magic spells to the game. This adds more people to the cities, and it can potentially cause some performance issues. This adds realistic eye textures, and this adds realistic smoke and embers. And this is different from the other ember mod. This one is embers that fly off of fires and stuff. So, like if you have a flame skill equipped, you'll be able to see small little embers flying off of it that will be better quality, and also smoke will be higher quality as well. This just increases the quality of the ruins. Crap around ruins, like chains and stuff like that. This allows you to level up your skills past level 100. Up to level 199 you will actually continue to get buffs to your skills with this, so you can go all the way up to 1000 though. But after 199 you won't get any more increases on your buffs. This mod, I may not keep it installed, but this increases the quality of the flora by adding high resolution textures to everything and replacing some of the textures as well. This adds a crazy sun flare to the sun. Monster mod adds a ton of monsters to the game. Another spell mod actually adds another wizardry school kind of aspect place to the game besides Winterhold. I still think they should have called it Dovahkiin's School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, not just Skyrim. Skyrim HD textures increases the quality of some of the textures around the world, map and stuff. Not on the actual map itself, but just around as you're traveling around, you'll see increased textures. Sky UI again required if you're going to use mods at all. This replaces the crappy console-oriented menu system for weapons and armor and stuff with a PC-oriented one that you can use fairly easily. It's tabbed, and you can also sort with it. This requires Skyrim script extender. Thu'Mic requires Dragon Script as well. You can use both those in conjunction with each other without any kind of issues popping up. Smithing perks just balances out the perks. I'm not really sure what all it does though. This and this one add high resolution snow and rock textures as well as to the roads. If you don't use this one though, you'll have on the roads, you'll have rocks that are on the roads that are surrounded by lower quality snow though, so you need to have that. There's actually a quality level above this one, but there's no patch for it. Staccato's realistic cinematic ENB is what I'm using for my ENB now. I was using Sharpshooters mod, but it's really, Sharpshooters isn't really customizable enough for me. Plus it didn't really do much, it wasn't really that good. This one's a lot better, and you'll see how that works once we get in game. You will have to, along with Dynavision, you'll have to save your game. Well, you have to summon the helpers, save your game, then load that save game before that'll work. And I'll show you what I mean when we get to the game. This just adds a little bit faster flicker to candles and lanterns. Just a little bit more realistic. Realistic lighting for torches, again, to help deal with the real darkness that the Staccato mod brings. Basic needs basically means that you'll have to keep track of how tired you are, if you're drunk or if you're thirsty, hungry, and those different things will actually have an effect, small effect on your abilities. Unofficial Skyrim patch adds a ton of stuff. I can't remember what all it has, but there's a lot of stuff in there that fixes stuff that Bethesda did that shouldn't have done. Water, again, if you're gonna have a mod, if you're gonna mod Skyrim, this is one you should have. It really increases the quality of the water and also the rain textures in relation to hitting the water. It's really, really good. War Zones is a crazy mod that adds just pockets of battle all across Skyrim, based on wherever they're at. For instance, if you're near, Whiterun or near, whatever the, I can't remember now, Ulrich's place. If you're near there or Whiterun, you will probably run into battles between Imperials and Stormcloaks. Sometimes it can be bandits and Stormcloaks, or bandits or monsters or animals and stuff against one side or the other. And the only thing that's wrong with that is that you can piss off both sides if you're not careful. If you join the melee, and this just adds a bunch of fixes to the armor and weapon meshes and other kind of internal stuff, as does the mesh. I think I skipped over the mesh. Where is that? There's a mesh mod here somewhere. Well, it's in here somewhere. Where'd it go? I'm probably skipping right over it though. Skyrim, community, environments, smithing. Well, that's just interesting. In here somewhere there's a mesh thing. I don't know, it's in here somewhere, but there's also a mesh mod that fixes a bunch of meshes that are not as good as they should be. That's all those mods though that I have installed, a ton of them. For settings, I'm going to be doing this in 1920 by 1080, full MSAA with ultra on radial blur, 70 field of view. HUD, I have it set to 75% opacity. For textures, I just have anisotropic filtering to 16, very high texture quality, and everything else is on their default settings. Now for here, you can pretty much just leave everything here. I find this is pretty much the max of what I can do. I'm just going to do unthread those. If you want to have a little bit more performance, use this to unload the cells when you fast travel. It just helps clean things up so there's not so much RAM being used. I'm actually going to knock this down and this down a bit. Put that down to 8. That's because I want to try and get a little more performance out of this. World, you can pretty much leave everything like that. Oh, also on here, don't change the grid setting unless you know what you're doing, because this can corrupt your save file. Now for trees, here's the real first issue you have here. So now you can, to increase what you can set here, you can uncheck animated, and you can increase this, or if you think your system can handle it, you can leave that checked and change these settings too. With the lush trees and grass mod, it really becomes a pain trying to set these up because of the hits to performance you're going to take. Pretty much anything you do here is going to have some hit to your performance. The trick is to try and find the least amount of hit possible. I'm actually going to use threading on this. For grass, I'm going to drop density down to 6, but I'm going to up this then to 5.2. Don't use that unless you really want to start lagging, because that will enhance the grass shading. So underneath the lighting now, shadow blur. The non-blocky face thing only really works if you have this to a higher value. The higher the value is, the more smooth the shadows will be. And the lower this is, well, I'm not sure what this really does. I think there's a different one on the other side. But I have the second to highest, or next to highest resolution, and next to highest filter setting. I really don't know what any of this stuff does. There's no tooltips for most of them. I guess there's for that one. Draw distance of shadows. Smaller values produce less value. So let's go ahead and actually, I'm going to go ahead and drop this down to 2400. Again, just so we can get a little more performance. Exterior, that's interior. So exterior, let's drop this down to 6800. Shadow fade distance. Distance with shadows are faded, so I'm going to change this down to 140. And I'm going to leave tree and grass shadows off. For light, it's pretty much just leave everything the way it is. Although, what you can do here is that with these two, is you can change how long the days take. So, and also how many times a day that the sun gets updated. What that means is that this is the update time, and as you move this down, you increase the speed of the day. So, if you put this at 0.5, you'd make a day take half as long in Skyrim. Now this one here allows you to increase the rate at which the sun angle is changed in relation to this. So if you sit in Skyrim and just sit somewhere for a while and you watch it, you'll notice that the sun will change suddenly and the shadows will change dramatically. This allows you to make that more subtle as you go down towards the left side of this scroll bar here. And it makes it so it looks a little bit more realistic. I'm not sure if this causes any performance hits, but since the shading is being updated more often, it probably does create a little more strain on the system more often than it would otherwise. Normally this is set at, I think, 5 or 8, 0.5, 0.8. For water, I have force high definition, force high detail. Again, the next highest resolution. For reflections, I don't blur the reflections. Everything gets reflected. I'm actually going to take those two off. Water sampling's at its highest. I'm going to drop that down by 1 and have all those still enabled. Hopefully with these settings I'll be able to get a pretty consistent frame rate. I've been having problems trying to get a good frame rate throughout. And hopefully using play call that'll work too. So I'm going to go ahead and end this introductory video, and we're going to go ahead and get into the game now.